So I often get asked, how often should you weigh yourself? And you'll be surprised at the answer. So stay tuned until the end. Hi, my name is Daphne, and I'm the face behind Ageless After 50, where we ditch diet culture, reclaim our rhythm, and thrive unapologetically. Hit that subscribe button so you can receive notifications of fresh content delivered to you on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So let's get right down to it. When is the best time to weigh yourself? Or better yet, how often should you weigh yourself? First and foremost, the best time to weigh yourself is always in the morning, right after you've gone to the restroom for the morning, before you eat, because that's when your system is completely empty, primed, and ready to be at the lowest weight it's going to be for the day. After that, you're going to have water fluctuation, all kinds of fluctuations. So if you wait later, it's not going to be the most accurate reading of your weight. So first thing in the morning is the best time of the day to weigh yourself. Moving ahead of that, how often should you weigh yourself? This one is tricky because this is one where your mileage really may vary. Now, with the Ageless AF eating rhythm method, the whole shift in your thinking is to adjust it to your lifestyle. And what I don't want you to be is traumatized in your choice. If you feel a certain way when you get on the scale, I don't want it to be something that is a consistent trigger for you. However, on the flip side of that, I don't want the scale to be something that you see as your enemy. It's not. The scale is simply a blip in time to indicate what your numbers are reflecting in that blip of time. Let's be clear, the numbers on a scale, that's all it is, because it's not taking into account what you just drank, what you just ate, what you could have eaten the day before. If you had something with salt that would cause some kind of water retention, if you're on medication, if you're under stress, because stress can also cause weight gain because you have the increase of your hormone levels. There's a lot of indicators that will impact your weight. And so, with that said, I don't want you to see the number of the scale as what defines you. I want you to be in control of that number. And I don't want you to have your head in the sand when it comes to that number either. Because what I don't want you to do is when you go to your doctor for your semi annual physical or your annual physical, and then notice, oh, I didn't know I weighed that much. It should never be a shock how much you weigh when you go to the doctor. That should never be a surprise. And so, my recommendation is to weigh yourself at least once a week and keep a chart of it. Weighing yourself once a week to get comfortable with what your numbers look like on a weekly basis and then working within that framework of your numbers. Personally, here is what I do. I weigh myself daily. And the reason why I do that, and I've been weighing myself daily now for the past 15 years, because I want to get a grasp of any type of weight gain and grab it by the throat. So I keep my weight within a very tight 5-pound window. As I've mentioned, I'm between 135 and 140. If my weight creeps up outside that window, then I know I need to tighten the reins. It's either a medication, it's something I've eaten, I may have been on vacation, but something's happened and now I may have to either fast a little bit longer or not grab so much of my mocktail, which is the pineapple juice and ginger beer, which I love so much. It gives me an opportunity to quickly evaluate, okay, what did I do in those last 2 or 3 days that has my weight 1 to 2 pounds out of range? that's why I weigh myself daily. I can quickly triage what the problem is, tackle it, provide a solution, and get back to where I need to be. This is why weekly was not successful for me. With weekly numbers, you don't have an accurate gauge of what's going on day to day. You're just seeing a weekly number. And I completely understand if you're traumatized by the scale and you don't want to look at it every day, that's fine too. It's baby steps. But I want you to look at it from a different lens and from a different optic. That scale does not control you. I want you to look at it as an opportunity to see how food, how situations, how stress, how life, period, affects that number. And then you can adjust accordingly. Because what has always happened to me in the past, when I've gained 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 80 pounds, that has happened. And the times when I didn't get on the scale for a long stretch of time. But had I been weighing myself every day, I would have caught it before it got to the point of no return. And that's why I recommend weighing yourself daily. And it's a really quick, just get on, get off, and write it down. Don't take that number as gospel. Don't be traumatized by it. Take a note of it and just know, okay, this is what it is. What did I do yesterday? And keep a chart of it. Every single month, I'll just on a notebook paper. I'm not technical with this. I don't have an app that I use for this. I have it on my bathroom wall and I have my scale in my bathroom. And I literally have the month written out and each day written out. And I have a pen right there. And every morning when I get up, I will weigh myself and write the weight down. And then I can see a running tally of what my weight looks like. I have done that for years. I have sheets and sheets and sheets of paper where I can see how much I weighed in any blip of time for the last 10 years. And as I mentioned, I've been on the Ageless AF eating rhythm method for the last, now we're going into 3 years. When I started it, I was strongly entrenched in 162. That was the lowest I had ever been. Even with having the gastric bypass surgery 25 years ago in my 20s. And now fast forward to being in my, at the time, late 40s, I could not get past 162. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I want to get to a lower weight. I will talk about BMI and how BMI is deceptive in another video. But if you like what you've heard so far, make sure to hit the like button. With that said, I have taken all of those numbers and I made the determination just out of the blue. I want to get down to 135. This was 2 years ago. I remember I mentioned it to my fiance. I said, I want to get down to 135. And he was like, you can do it, baby. Truth be told, he didn't know how I was going to do it. He didn't know. It was just, you can do it, baby. And I appreciate him for the support. I didn't know how I was going to do it. He didn't know how I was going to do it. I put it to the grind. I said, I'm going to do something different. And I did. And that was the Ageless AF eating rhythm method. Mind you, by that time, I had tried everything: keto, low carb, Atkins, vegetarian, carnivore, you name the diet, I tried it. I did intermittent fasting, but I did it to an extreme. I did it the wrong way. Everything you are not supposed to do is what I did. So I was the poster child of not doing this properly. So I created a method that worked for me. I'm over the age of 50. I have challenges such as Crohn's disease. I am menopausal. I suffer from anxiety and depression. I am 3 years sober. There's a lot of issues, and I'm sure my story is not unique. And that's why I wanted to share it with you, because I wanted to gather and have a safe space for women over the age of 50 who are frustrated by all the diet culture out and just feel like they are relegated to the weight that they're at. Like, okay, I can't ever lose weight again. Let me tell you something. To be in my 50s and be the weight that I was when I was a teenager, number one. And to eat anything I want, I'm not on a diet. I eat anything I want, what I wanted. But the difference is now I recognize when my body is hungry. I don't mindlessly eat. And I'm very intuitive about being intentional with receiving nutrients for my body first before I indulge in cravings. So I go for nutrient dense food, then I hit whatever food I'm craving, if it's pizza or if it's chocolate, but I don't lead with that first. And it has made a world of difference in my life. So, circling the airport, I'm landing the plane. When is the ideal time to weigh yourself in the morning? How often should you weigh yourself? Weekly is fine. Weekly is what you're comfortable with for now. I get it. Do what is right for you and do what fits your lifestyle. My personal journey has been daily because it gives me an accurate measure of what is going on every day so I can immediately triage when something is going awry and fix it. And it helps me keep my targeted weight within that 5 pound ideal range. And for me, that's 135 to 140. It could be different for you, and all results may vary. On the flip side of that, I can sometimes lose too much weight, and I have to watch for that. I know that sounds crazy, losing too much weight. It's a problem, and it's a problem that I have to be aware of. And it's immediate. The people who are around me notice it before I do. You can immediately see it on my face. And for me, that's a nope, nope. Mm-mm. So that's when I have to be a little bit more aggressive with the nutrient dense food and put weight back on. So if it falls under 135, if I get it down to 130, I think the lowest I've gotten is 129. No, I literally am walking around looking gaunt and scary. You might think that sounds ideal. It's not. It happens when I'm in a severe flare up, when I'm unable to eat, and when I am bedridden. So it's not an ideal setting for me. That's when my body is in the throes of inflammation and I have to switch gears. And usually, this is when my medication needs to be stabilized, surgery is needed, something dramatic is happening to my body where my weight starts plummeting. So it's not a flex, believe me, by any stretch of the imagination, which is another reason why I'm monitoring my weight daily because I'm not trying to go below my desired number and I'm not trying to go above it. It's my sweet spot and so I stay in my lane. And you'll find your lane. I'm not saying my number is an arbitrary number. Find a number that works for you. The number that I have is where I feel comfortable. My clothes fit the way I like, and I don't feel bloated. If I literally go 5 pounds outside my range, it's a huge difference. I'm only 5'3" and I have a very small frame. So weight really weighs, no pun intended, on me. It comes in and smacks a punch. I have to be very mindful of weight gain for me because I can feel it. It immediately puts pressure on my knees. It's a life altering thing for me. And I treat it very serious. If you like what you've heard, make sure to hit that like button. That's what I want you to take from this. I don't want you to be afraid of that scale. It is literally just an indicator on a number so you know how to adjust accordingly and then move on with life. Subscribe and stay tuned for great content we have coming up. The next one we'll be talking about BMI and why BMI is a lie. Yeah, I said it. It's a lie. So please make sure you stay tuned for that video. Hit subscribe and share this with another lady over the age of 50 who needs to hear this. And so that we can go through this journey together. You're not alone. I appreciate you joining me today. And until next time, be kind to yourself.